You're entering the courtroom of Judge Sinister. The people are actors. The cases are stupid. And the rulings never go the way you think they should. This is the Sinister Truth. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Sinister Truth. Today on the Sinister Truth, Kyle Lester is suing Mr. James Knuckles for $16,500, claiming that he beat him half to death just because he caught Mr. Lester on the couch with his 16-year-old daughter half naked. It's the case of this Lester got molested. Now, let's join the litigants in the courtroom.
This is a closed case due to the sensitive state. And by the way, my lazy bailiff decided not to show up today, so I'm not having a good day. I didn't even get to finish painting my nails. So you guys better have something good, because I'm not in the mood for no mess. Good Lord, Mr. Lester. What happened to you?
That man over there nearly beat me senseless. That's why I'm suing him for $16,500 for my pain and suffering, my lost time at work, and my medical bills. And all I was trying to do was comfort his sweet young daughter Cheyenne in her time of need.
You old perv, I never asked for comfort. Maybe some southern comfort, but that's about it.
Miss Knuckles, that's enough. What type of comfort was she in need of at midnight, sir?
Well, Your Honor, I believe in the ministering of the laying of the hands.
Yeah, so do I.
Anyway, Your Honor, I really did go over there against my better judgment. Mother told me not to. But Cheyenne just got all, real scared and frightened that, the protector just kicked in me, and that's all.
Yeah, you need to be kicked, all right? Right in the...
Mr. Knuckles, that's enough.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, but this guy is full of you know what.
Your Honor, the only reason why I invited him over was because he said he was going to tell my dad if I didn't.
Tell your father about what?
That I was throwing a party that night.
Is that true, Mr. Lester?
Well, Your Honor, I love helping people, so I agreed to be a chaperone at the party only because Mr. Knuckles wasn't home, so I just wanted to make sure the youth weren't going to get into no trouble.
No, you perv. You were just mad that we didn't invite you. That's why you threatened me with telling my dad.
Wait a minute, you had a party at my house without my permission?
Well, yeah, how else was I going to have it?
How many times are we going to go over this?
Okay, Mrs. Knuckles, that's enough. So you planned a party at your house without your father's permission?
Yes, Your Honor.
So how do you think Mr. Lester here found out about the party?
He stalks us on social media.
I do not. I friend the nice-looking ones to keep them out of trouble.
Really? The nice-looking ones? What does that mean?
Well, Your Honor, it means that the nice-looking ones tend to be more, outgoing and friendly, whereas the not so nice-looking kids, nobody wants to be around them so much.
So this is how you stalk your victims?
Your Honor, I am a pastor. I would never do anything to harm one of God's children.
Why, you lying sack of horse nuts. Look, you were in my house at midnight, sitting on my sofa, wearing nothing but that stupid-looking grin of yours, trying to get with my daughter.
That's not entirely true.
So, which part is true?
Well, Your Honor, I was in Brother Knuckles' living room. That is true, but I was only there on the couch because by the time that the party had ended, everybody else had already gone.
So, you both attend the same church?
No, we used to, but he got his butt fired after I ministered to him.
And what Lester said earlier was a lie, Your Honor. I had to tell him what time the party started, otherwise he was going to tell my dad.
Is this true, Mr. Lester?
Well, yes, Your Honor.
So why did you arrive late?
Mother's sponge bath took longer than expected.
Why are you giving your mother a sponge bath? Is she handicapped in some way?
No, not really.
And you wonder why I beat the hell out of you? Well, you're a freaking pervert.
Were you in Mr. Knuckles' house with no clothes on?
Well, yes and no, Your Honor. You see, I was in Brother Knuckles' living room. Yes, that much is true. But I wasn't actually nude. You see, I was actually just wearing a nude-colored leotard. So even though I looked nude, I wasn't actually naked. You see, I was just minding my own business, giving my mother a sponge bath, and then, all of a sudden, I received this message from the Lord. Specifically, Cheyenne, saying, I need you. Come quick.
Okay, so you run out of your house in a nude colored leotard at midnight, by the way, to go see who?
Cheyenne, of course.
And she just gave you her number.
No, Your Honor. He forced me to give him my number so that he wouldn't tell my dad.
Mr. Knuckles, how old is your daughter?
16.
And Mr. Lester, how old are you?
Well, Your Honor, I'm not really one to brag about my age.
How old are you, sir?
26, Judge.
So what in the hell does a 26-year-old man have any business doing with a 16-year-old girl's phone number?
Funny you should ask, Judge. She came on to me.
That's a damn lie, Your Honor! That pervert was trying to rape my little girl!
Mr. Knuckles, you are not in the streets. This is a court of law and we will have order in this courtroom. Do you understand me?
Yes, Your Honor. But what he's saying, it just isn't true.
Yes, sir, I understand. But in order for me to make the best judgment possible, I have to hear from the both of you and the pervert. Okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
So, Mr. Lester, you're saying a 16-year-old girl came on to you.
That's right, Your Honor. But I stopped her in the name of Jesus.
How? In your new colored leotard?
Oh, no. Long before that, Your Honor.
And you still took her number?
Well, Your Honor, I was just led by the good spirit to have this nice lady's phone number just in case if she needed some ministering.
Uh-huh. And so you thought the proper time for that was to be in your new colored leotard at midnight in Mr. Knuckles' living room?
No, Your Honor. That's not what happened at all.
Please, Mr. Lester, enlighten us.
Well, Your Honor, I was led there, like I said, by a very strong force. In fact, it's risen up in me. Right now.
Oh, I've got a machete that'll kill that urge real quick.
You see, Your Honor, I'm very sensitive about this because, you know, I'm a pastor, but you see what I mean? He just frightened me. Did you just not see that, Your Honor?
Anyway, you said earlier, and I quote, that you ran out of the house in your new color leotard, by the way, at midnight while giving your mother a sponge bath, unquote.
That's not exactly accurate, Your Honor.
Look, Your Honor, this pervert is lying through his busted teeth. Okay, first thing, my little girl would never do anything like that. Okay, when I snuck into her room a few nights ago, I checked the messages on her cell phone. And there were these text messages that said, "Oh, you look good," and "Hey, I may be 26, but you're old enough for me." Yeah, well, that's when my little girl and we decided to set this jerk up. Yeah, and he fell for it. Hook, line, and sinker.
That was you?
Damn right it was me.
You mean to tell me that this whole time there was no party?
No, jackass, there wasn't. God.
Your Honor, he has just admitted to entrapment. Clearly, this is a violation against my civil rights.
Mr. Knuckles, are you a law enforcement officer?
No, Your Honor.
Have you ever been in law enforcement?
Why, no, Your Honor.
Your entrapment Defense is denied. Try again.
What about my civil rights?
What about him, punk? Well, you think you can come into my house and get with my little girl? I don't think so.
I was just trying to service her.
What?
Mr. Lester, you do know that you have the right to remain silent?
Well, that's what ministering is, Your Honor. It's about service.
Uh-huh. More like trying to get serviced.
He does have a point there. Showing up in the nude?
It was a nude bodysuit, Your Honor. I was not in the nude.
Who does that? Showing up in someone's house in a nude bodysuit at midnight, unless they're trying to get some.
As I explained earlier, Your Honor, I was giving my mother a sponge bath.
Which sounds very freaky to me, Your Honor.
Yeah, me too. Because if you came skulking around my house trying to get with my daughter in some nude panties or underwear or whatever the hell they're called, I would have shot you myself. Plain and simple.
How can I possibly get a fair ruling, Your Honor, if you're siding with him?
Mr. Lester, I have a 16-year-old daughter too. How could you think that you can possibly go around and be in someone else's house trying to get their little 16-year-old daughter? Why would you think that would be okay?
Well, as she told me, Your Honor, she told me she was a...
You didn't say that.
Yeah, and I don't recall you saying that either.
Oh, well, I should have.
You know, Mr. Lester, I do have eidetic memory, and I can recall everything that has taken place in this courtroom with perfect clarity.
Oh, yeah, Judge? Well, what was I doing right before court started?
Picking your nose. But you thought no one could see you, and I guess you didn't have any tissue, so you decided to eat it.
Okay, well, how many fingers was I tapping before the courtroom started?
3. But it was that middle finger you used to dig all around up in your nose with. You know, by the way, you giving your mother a sponge bath is pretty creepy. So far, you haven't proven your case, sir.
Judge, what about what he did to me?
Okay. Mr. Knuckles, did you do this to Mr. Lester?
I sure did.
And rightfully so.
Your Honor!
Mr. Pervert, why were you walking around in a nude-colored bodysuit at midnight?
Your Honor, I wasn't nude.
You know what? Shut up. Just shut up. I don't care if you were in a nude bodysuit or if you had a barrel on with suspenders. You are a grown man running around in the neighborhood chasing after underage girls in a nude bodysuit at midnight. And could you possibly think that you were going to come in here and think you're going to win that case?
So, Your Honor, after hearing all that, what are you trying to say?
What I'm saying is that you're lucky, and be considered lucky, that Mr. Knuckles didn't do more than he did to you.
What about my pain and suffering, Your Honor?
Yeah, right, about that. You are a pain, and we've suffered enough. Your case is dismissed.
What?
Mr. Lester, looks like you tried to pull a fast one on the judge. It didn't work.
What do you mean?
You trying to get with teenage girls? Surely you didn't actually think that was going to work, did you?
Well, you know, what can I say? I can't help it if my ministry wants me to lead a group of nice, young-looking ladies. But hey, sometimes you just gotta beat them off with a stick. You know what I mean?
It looks like now the stick beat you.
Hey, look, man, that ain't funny. Look at me here. I got real injuries.
And so do the women you hurt, you jackass. Hey, look, it's the winners of the case. Mr. Knuckles and his daughter Cheyenne.
So, how does it feel to win the case?
Well, it feels great. I was able to save my little girl from that pervert, and I don't have to pay for any of his medical bills.
Even though you beat him senseless with brass knuckles.
Look, if he wasn't in my house trying to get with my little girl, we wouldn't even be here in the first place.
Yeah.
So, Cheyenne, what did you learn from the case?
Well, the next time I have a sneak party, I'm going old school, and I'll email everybody first.
Okay.
Kyle Lester, a sick, twisted little man with sick, twisted, perverted ideas, believing that his actions should have no consequences whatsoever, as he deals with a silly 16-year-old girl who does not understand the dangers of social media. Fortunately for her, her father did. Join us next time for the Sinister Truth.